Hello everyone. So Ukraine's Magyar group hit even more Russian shipping last night in the Sea of Azov. This is the fourth straight day of Ukrainian drone strikes hitting Shadow Fleet tankers and other vessels in the area. 13 separate ships are hit today. The tally, including 10 Shadow Fleet tankers, a dry cargo vessel, a ferry, and a tug. It looks like mainly FP-1 and FP-2 attack drones are used here again, with the strikes once more targeting the superstructure. And I'm kind of running out of things to say about these after 4 days of covering them. I mean, the videos kind of speak for themselves. The Shadow Fleet tankers, you can see, are sitting ducks and just get picked off by Ukrainian drones, whilst the Black Sea Fleet, supposed to protect the shipping, hides in Novorossiysk because the Russians clearly don't trust the Black Sea Fleet and know that the second one of the ships pokes its snout out of Novorossiysk and away from the sandbatches there, they'll be sitting ducks. This strike does include a very interesting one which is worth a closer look. Now, you can see at least one of the tankers here actually made some effort to protect itself from the UAVs by stringing cables along its superstructure, as seen here. We can't really tell if this one was damaged or not, or if the cables actually did their job and protected it, because the next ship seen being hit, which is burning, looks to be a different one to my eyes. Hopefully, this ship was sailed alight and that tactic did fail. Now, these strikes today bring us to 48 vessels hit by Magyar group in the Sea of Azov in total in just 120 hours. This is some fantastic operation here. So, the tally so far, for those keeping count, which I am, July the 6th, 2 tankers were hit, so things got off to a slow start. July the 7th, 10 vessels hit. This included 8 tankers, 1 dry cargo ship at port, and 1 ferry. At this point, Russia started moving these tankers towards Kerch on a larger scale, it seems, because Ukraine had a free for all. Either that, or Ukraine realised how vulnerable they were and just started hitting them at will and sending as many drones here as they could. July the 8th, 9 more ships hit, all of them Russian tankers. July the 9th, 14 vessels hit. The tally here, 12 tankers, 1 small tugboat, and a cargo ship. And last night's strike, July the 10th, 13 in total. 10 tankers, a cargo ship, a tug, and a ferry. So, what's the taking for tomorrow's strike? Because we all know it's going to happen. You don't have to be Mystic Meg to see that one. I'm going to predict 10, including a warship this time. Now, sensibly, you might think that Russia would withdraw its ships from the area now, but Russia never does the sensible option. I think Russia's going to finally risk sending a patrol vessel or 2 into the area, fitted with AA weaponry to try and protect them. Because surely they can't just leave the Black Sea Fleet, Shadow Fleet tankers to be hit like this every night. It's becoming a complete embarrassment for them. Not to mention the effect that it's having on Russian fuel and the transport to Crimea and that sort of thing, seeing the Shadow Fleet get completely decimated. Now, I don't think Russia would be brave enough to send a Krivak air defence frigate there, although I hope they do, because I'd love to see one of those getting bombarded. But likely something smaller like a Svetliak class patrol boat, which are fitted with Igla short range missile launchers. I could definitely see one of those being sent to the area soon. Now, the tug that we see being hit is the last boat hit at the very end of the video, and simply calling it a tug doesn't really do it justice. Tug usually brings to mind some crappy little donkey pitter-pattering around the harbour. This one is a sizable vessel. I think this one could more likely be called a rescue vessel than a tug, personally. I'm not sure what type, but this one looks to be a decent size. If a more specialised rescue vessel, then it's a very important target, as given Russia's ship losses here, these are definitely going to be earning their keep lately. Now we also have some satellite imagery. These are from these strikes from yesterday, and it shows 2 stricken tankers on this one here, one of them belching huge amounts of fuel, so certainly in a bad way. Shame that the fuel has ended up in the sea, of course, but good that it isn't going to be helping Russia with the ongoing fuel problems. That's quite a big slick as well. Just above it, another oil tanker which looks to be stricken as well, with a small tugboat either in front or behind assisting it. So that one too must be in a pretty serious state if it needs assisting like that. This image here must be from one of the few which we looked at yesterday again, showing a tanker burning heavily still, with another trail of oil behind it. So the Sea of Azov is now going to resemble the average Russian river, it seems. And here, the third, low quality, but it shows a tanker burning heavily with what looks to be a large rescue vessel nearby. Now, that rescue vessel would be a very fine target for Ukraine. Hopefully, that eats a drone at some point, but maybe it's the one we saw in today's video. Now, this image here was shared by Drone Bomber on Twitter. It doesn't show confirmed damaged tankers. It's from July the 8th, so a couple of days ago, the second night of attack, and it shows the location of 38 Russian tankers in the Sea of Azov at the time. Now, interestingly, reports are saying that some of these tankers, or most of them, were actually intended for Crimea to deliver fuel there, rather than heading to Russia to either load up on fuel or deliver fuel to ports there. It could be the case they are clustered north of the bridge rather than heading to port, so it could certainly be this is an urgent fuel delivery to Crimea that's been targeted by these drones. But saying that, I don't think Crimea has enough facilities to handle this much oil. There's only Kerch Port that's suitable, and that only has a handful of loading piers, and the oil tanks there, half of them have been destroyed or badly damaged anyway. So I think the tankers being hit here are a mixed bag. Some of them would have been heading to Crimea, others would have either been heading to Russia itself, been waiting in the area to be loaded at Taganrog port or similar with oil for export, or bringing oil to Russia for delivery. So it seems like a mixed bag here. But either way, we're all solid targets. So that's it for this video. Thanks very much and take care, everybody.